What's happening, guys? Today we are doing some prep for, well, I hope this time actually to get to enter in a race. So we're doing prep on the 65 Plymouth Belvedere barn find. Not really barn find, but that's what we called it. So give you some details on the car. If you've not seen it on the channel, go check those videos out. On the first video with it, we went ahead, threw the bumpers on it, threw some seats in it, I put a harness bar in it, and we did a tachometer. Nothing crazy, nothing major. Second video, we kind of got it back up and running, did some little knickknacks, threw a new radiator in it, put a fan in it, and drove it and did our first burnout in it. Now, here we are today. I've now owned the car for a significant amount of time now, and we are getting ready to take it to an autocross event. It already has, from years back, QA1 front suspension, almost fully, the strut rods, everything basically in the front is ready to go, other than what we have today, a sway bar. As with the rear, the leaf springs are wore out on the back. No, I'm not replacing those because those are 1,100 bucks, but I do have a sway bar for the back and brand new shocks for the back. Right now it has air shocks that don't air shock. So that's basically the combination we have to get this car to the track. We just need some sway bars, and also we have this harness bar back here. I did mess it up for width wise, but we'll make it work, and we're going to end up mounting our 6-point harness to that as well. So once we get all that cranked out, this vehicle will be ready to autocross. The headlights, the taillights, basically everything works, other than, well, even the neutral safety switch works. So we just got some cleaning up to do. Maybe we'll throw some carpet in it, maybe not, as well as we got to clean up the underneath because we got brake lines, fuel lines, everything just kind of hanging out with its wang out. So here we go. Let's see if she starts back up. It's been sitting here for a couple days now. Let's give her a little spritz of some go-go juice. I think this guy has a bad accelerator pump or something, because I can never get it start back up after it ran prior. So after, obviously, you get it kind of started for the first time with a little spritz of something, she idles amazingly. Sounds great. Sounds like a big block Mopar. So she's got a couple exhaust leaks at the manifolds. I'm not really worried about that this time around. They are getting worse, so will be something I'll have to mess with here in the future, but obviously not this time around, because we want to do headers on it rather than leaving the manifold. So get her back in the garage. We got to go and get the old wagon out of the way so we can put this baby girl on the lift. Tomorrow we're going to paint the S550 Mustang, so we will be end up leaving the wagon out of the garage. So if anybody watches this video knows a lot about coyote swaps, hit me up. We're still having major issues with that baby girl. Well, before we get into it, let me take you on a tour of the old Belvedere underneath. So she is an Iowa car, as you can tell for sure. She's a little dirty, but actually, you know, that passenger side is not bad. So what we got right now, we got some cherry bombs, and those are OG from the previous owner, and who knows how long these pipes have been on here. Pretty cool though, probably 1990s or something crazy like that. We've got rebuilt drums in the back. We're not worried about that just yet, or about those bad seals or bad leaf spring bushings. We're not worried about that. Also, we have rubber line all the way up to the front of the car. I have to change that to, I think 3/4 of the line has to be hard line, so we'll be messing with that. Still got an original fuel line on that frame rail all the way, so I might get the old air compressor out and blower out, and I could probably reuse that. So then stepping up here, we kind of see some of the work. All this has been rebuilt, brand new, all of it. So even where we at here, there they are. There's our lowering boys right there. We do have a small train fluid leak on this vehicle, and it's coming from the speedometer cable. If you guys are 727 guys, let me know how to fix that, if there's an O-ring or something in there, but as of right now, we ain't worried about it. So after that, we have this precariously mounted brake line that I put in here like a moron, and then following that, we got some nice Fox shocks up front, a nice disc brake kit, brand new upper ball joints that are just toasted already, but I think they'll work for now, as well as this side's actually pretty good shape. So these lower control arms, if you're Mopar guys, you kind of know, and I put the bracing on these nice adjustable strut rods, or so we can adjust those as we need to. Then we'll be adding this sway bar. These are not meant to have a sway bar, so I'm kind of interested to see what they have in the kit to add the sway bar. So we will pray that they have something for me to do it, or else I'm just going to have to end up figuring out myself, which is always an option. So this does have an aluminum radiator and has the nice BFGs on it that are a bunch of years old, that I bought, was the most expensive purchase at that time, and now really actually pretty cheap. So here we go. I'm gonna go get the boxes of sway bars and step you guys through those, and then we'll just get right after it. And if best case scenario, we can crank this whole car out today and then start, you know, debugging it as time goes on. Okay, so here's what we got going on. So this Belvedere from the factory was not equipped with a sway bar. Obviously you can tell that because that would be, well, you guys, Mopar guys, tell me I'm wrong. I think the stock locations for this amount would be boom boom. So those are kind of welded shut. That being said, these guys, they send you these fellas, thick boys, send you those to go in the stock locations. I don't know where the stock location is, so what I'm gonna do to kind of figure out perfectly where the stock location would be, I'm gonna mount these up. They give you brackets to mount where the shock mounts, the bottom side, both sides, and then I'm gonna mock that sway bar up, and then I'm gonna lean it up and then kind of see where she wants to sit. I'm gonna bolt it down, and then this bracket, I don't really plan on this car ever changing forms. It's not gonna be a drag car, not gonna be anything like that. I do plan on it being a road course vehicle for quite some time, so I am going to just weld those in place. If you guys have any problem with that, I don't really give a shit. My car. So anyway, I'm gonna just weld those in place. I might even weld the bolts they provide you. I might try to get in there, weld the heads down, so that way you never have to worry about spinning if you do end up having to service this, put new bushings in, and blah blah blah. So I unpackaged that guy. Now for the back, show you the shocks I got. These are pretty mid-range shocks. I didn't want to break the bank just because we have a lot of expenses coming up on different things. So I went with these Bilstein Sport Boys. I've had pretty good luck with Bilstein everything lately, so I felt pretty good about getting these. Hopefully they don't turn this thing into a monster truck. If they do, I'll be a little depressed, but it is what it is at that point. So these guys were supposedly a sport engineered one, or sport engineered so that they hold the tire on the ground, which is kind of what we need when we're hitting those courses. As far as I'm aware, I've never done it. So that being said, pull those off, put that on, and then here's the other sway bar. These are heavy, by the way, very heavy. So I gotta see how that still mounts. Pretty sure it's pretty simple. I think it just goes around your axle, and that's just how that goes. I don't know if this one's gonna be as helpful as the front one, but I did plan on doing a 4-link for this rear end. Probably won't happen. I'll probably save up, get the 1-inch drop leaf springs at some point, and change out this old boy. Not sure if this is an 8.3 quarter or the crappier one, so I'd figure it's probably the better one. But again, Ford guy, not a Mopar guy. Ford. So anywho, I am going to get ready and start mocking up that front boy. Here's these ball joints. These were brand new, like literally a year ago. So this seemed to happen to the last pair too. I have no idea what's going on with that. I took this to a shop for an alignment, and it don't turn right very well at all. So taking it to another shop to do the alignment, and maybe they can get me full turning radius. But I also don't. All of these are just kind of getting shelled out. These were all brand new from a company not even 2 years ago, and it's just kind of hard to believe that these would all blow out like that. But don't really have an option right now. I'm just gonna kind of leave it and pray at this point, because the other option is basically you just order a full brand new A-arm, because it takes so much longer to take those stupid bullshits out. So ain't gonna do that. We got the sway bar kind of positioned. So obviously this specifically is for a vehicle, or like this kit is specifically for a vehicle that I've already had a sway bar mount and blah blah blah. So obviously everything I have is usually a base model, or it doesn't come with something that it should have. So this is what we came up with first. Make sure you put these L brackets downwards. I had to change it around because I was reading instructions upside down. Don't read the instructions upside down. Then here we are. I got it tightened up, and then a ratchet strap around it, because you know, one-man band here for today. This kind of gives me an opportunity to position these how I see fit at the moment. So right now I don't mind it actually where they're at. Now the question being is this where it's supposed to go at in the original? Probably not. I'm probably messing something up, obviously, but this is what I came up with. Those front holes don't hit, but since we're welding this pretty solid, I'm not too worried about it. I feel like as long as we're centered here, these angles are the same, I think we're good. So the only thing that scares me about this whole system is how much it's sitting down below here. Obviously if we have any issues, the main issue is hitting the wheel. So I'll put the wheel back on it before we go all the way down, and if I need to, I'll have to massage this guy quite a bit. So I'm kind of praying that I don't have to do that. Probably should check before I weld those in place, just in case we gotta, I don't know, we'll have to mess with it somehow so it doesn't hit, long story short. So you never know. I seem to run into the problem where this happens a lot. These being 17s, you wouldn't think this would be an issue, but usually everything's an issue when you work on old cars. So as of right now, this is what I got going. If you have a Mopar B-body 65, it's kind of an odd duckling anyway. This is kind of what I'm thinking it's gonna have to look like for you to weld it up there and go that way. If not, you can yell at me all you want. So, and it just might not handle as well as it could, but I know for a darn fact that this will handle better with these sway bars under it. All right, so brackets are welded on. So I'm gonna let these guys cool down. This was actually not too bad. In all honesty, I hear on these Mopars, if you actually go around and kind of just weld a lot of the seams, you see these presses, welds, and a bunch of other stuff. I hear that it helps quite a bit with rigidness of the suspension. Obviously right now I'm not going to do that, because I'd rather just put other stuff on there and hope that it helps just as much. Another thing they like to do on these is a subframe connector. Connects this guy down that way. I would really like to do that, just kind of budget wise. Didn't really want to order them. Plus I feel like I should be able to just, you know, should be able to make that myself if I really want to. I have some C-channel, just cut it in half and use both sides of it. So now while that's kind of cooling down, I'm gonna head to the back here, probably change out these shocks quick, and then we're gonna continue our motion to the sway bar back here. Then we can go back up there, mount that guy, and honestly for the day that might be all we get to. Tomorrow we'll hit that harness bar up, and after the harness bar we just have some minor little things to adjust, like the rerunning of the fuel line and rerunning the brake line, which is really not much. And this is 2 weeks before the show, or 3 weeks before the show. We'll actually have this easily finished up. So the only other thing we have is the kick down on this thing's a little messy, so I might drive it a little bit, maybe change the carburetor out to like a nicer Holly or something, but don't know if I want to mess with it. It runs really nice at idle and don't really choke up under, you know, as long as you're not getting out of the gate, it doesn't choke up, but if you're coming out of the gate, it chokes up. So we'll see how she acts and kind of go from there. All right, everybody, here we go. The sway bars are finally accomplished and done. I did take it for a quick test drive just to test it out before we do a little bit more work in this thing. Wasn't really worth the drive. You can't really tell on video, but she is a lot better off-road now. All death trap action. The Bilstein shocks did actually let her down a little bit further than expected. And I am rubbing a little bit here, but you can't even, and not enough to worry about. So then these, I did clearance these a little bit for that, because these sway bars are not meant for when these are actually reinforced, these lower arms. So that's fixed. Next being, what is that? What are you doing? Come here. Okay, random. Next being, I blew out the old fuel line. We're now able to use it. Nothing really bad came out. It already actually had some fuel on it still. That was not too terrible. And then last, I fastened these brake lines down. Just a little self-tapper action. And we're good to go on that now. Nothing's hanging down below where it should. So we're looking good on this rig. Here's all the goodness up there. The brakes are still fantastic. She's a swerver. The only thing that's kind of sketch, I got back and this guy was like, the sway bar was cranked completely over. So I tightened the end links a little bit more. It might go back and forth. I'm kind of unsure on that. So if you guys know, let me know. But if it's not supposed to, well, it's tightened now. So here we are, and we'll take it for another drive here after we get her on the ground and get her all tightened up and the inside all done. Okay, so we got her off the lift right now, and before lunch, I came in, pulled the seats, and just shot basically the floor black. I do have a couple patch panels in it, as you can kind of see. Here's a couple. And then we got our harness bar. It actually connects. The whole reason why it's the size it is because it connects the frame rails. So otherwise it should be technically wider. I messed that up, my bad, because the center of the seat sits way over here. You can see where the center is by that line. So we're gonna have to put our harness right there. Then I got the floor marked out for our new 6-point harness, or whatever the heck point harness it is. So after that, then I think I'm gonna go ahead and build my own, build some custom door cards for this. Just some really cheesy ones, maybe even for the back. I don't know, we'll see. And I'd like to throw something in the rear area too, but again, we'll see what happens, see what we get to today. I'm getting ready to cut out these little boys right there, and that is for the harnesses to connect to the harness bar. And then after that, I am going to shoot some bolts into the floor. That way I can connect the two lap bars. So after that, then we're gonna put our, like always, cheap floor insulation in. We're not gonna go crazy with it because we're gonna keep a little bit light. And then we have a little bit of carpet left over there. So that carpet was for the wagon. We'll just use it in here. It ain't gonna look beautiful, but it'll look like something. I might take a couple minutes and unpack this area. We've got a lot of shit back here and a lot of stuff I don't know what is going on. So a lot of progress today for this car. it's been, I've had it for 4 years and obviously haven't cleaned anything. So all right, whenever we see this stuff on the ground, that's good news. That means we're ready for carpet. So this guy, I'm not putting any pad down. I just put so I'll just tell you guys the truth. This is flashing tape, basically. You can get this at any home improvement box store. It's basically the same as Dynamat. So, gosh, I don't know where the label went, but anyway, you can get this stuff in the flashing aisle. Basically, it's for like roof patches and stuff. It has like a millimeter thick of tar, and you might ask yourself, wow, if I ever want to redo the floor, it's going to be a pain in the ass. Well, no, because you can just heat it up with your torch and it peels right off. Unlike some of the other stuff, you know, products out there, they just bond forever and ever, amen. This stuff kind of has the tar and it just peels right off. Now you might have to deal with a little bit of degreasing, but that's it. So that's a quick little cheap tech tip. These are like 20 bucks a roll, and it comes with 25 foot. Not a bad deal. It used to be a little bit better because it used to be like 10 bucks, and it was fantastic then, and then you could really have a reason not to use Dynamat. But you know, at this point now, I wouldn't be opposed to probably in the future using actual Dynamat. But this stuff works about identical. So right now we're gonna grab our extra roll of carpet, and I'm gonna start trying to fit it. I might roll it out the best I can outside, do a little bit of measuring in here, and then throw it in here. So the only thing that's gonna suck for the carpet is we might have to put a seam where that harness bar is, or we'll have to figure something out there. Just have to patch it in kind of. So once we get that in, I've got these fellows welded up for the point harness, and then I got these guys on, so those will work perfect. Then after that, we can move on to our door cards, setting our seats in, and she's gonna be pretty, honestly, I've never thought this car would be this far along for a long time. Of course, it's been 4 years, but yeah. So here's the carpet. I got this stuff as like a bulk deal, and it's really plush and nice, so it'll work out great. A lot better than that stuff that the Wagon came, well, I got for the Wagon. So we'll try it out, and here we go. Okay, so here we go. Carpet is laid as good as this non-mold stuff can lay, basically, unless you kind of heat her up and mold her yourself. But I'm not really worried about it. This is not really, it's not a show card by any means of the word. It's basically just gonna be for comfort and me and the lady to not hate life and drone like a bastard in. So next, I got tuck under the speedometer and the high-low beam. Then I do not have those guys. Well, if I did, they're definitely gone. And then we're gonna start on these door cards. So see how those go. We'll probably crank out 2 of them, and if they look good, the front 2, then I'll probably change pace and do the back ones then. But no promises. Here's what we got. We've got about 1/8 inch, what are we at? 1/8 inch, well, MDF or utility board or whatever the heck you want to call it. We are tracing them out on that, the old ones that are whatever's left to them. And then we also cleaned up these top guys right here. Originally from the factory, the door cards are stapled from the back. We aren't going to do that. We're just going to run our screws right through these existing holes. That being said, we are also doing the back ones as we speak. We'll have enough material for that. And then we will be also upholstering this back, see back in there, this back guy, so we can seal off the front from the back, and we can add some speakers. Now, while they are working on that, I am working on getting the seats put in again, and that side I already got the harness in. This side I'm getting ready to right now. We'll time lapse that right now. It's taken not too long, but I have to make some new bolts because I somehow this whole job I've just been losing stuff left and right. So we are gonna make that up. Then I got one more bolt throw in this guy, and it's G2G. So one thing we need to do in the future is, this is a power seat, and we need to get some power to it so I can actually lean, or go back and forth and blah blah blah. So. Alrighty guys, so kind of messed up and lost the old GoPro when we were doing the first set of door panels. Okay, let me just, last thing you seen was a time capsule or time lapse or whatever they call it of us making these fellas. How we made these fellas, this first set was trying to use the template from the old door panels. I quickly gave that up because it didn't work very well. We went to put them on and they didn't fit. So I think I'll show you guys the process of building these later. So I just got into it and I wanted to get these done ASAP. And here's what we ended up with. This is about as cheap as you can get with a kind of an inner door panel. Yeah, it's not lovely, and yes, it is not luxurious, but it is cheap. Altogether, this material and everything probably cost 150 bucks for we'll be able to do the whole entire car the same way. This is just me wrapping a piece of utility 1/8 inch MDF board, and this is what it ends up with. Yes, I know my armrest is toast, but it's more than I had. So from there, I put the little speedo pedal in, or throttle cap pedal in, which it didn't have before, and I drilled into the floor, ended up hitting the cable underneath, and she leaked like a sieve everywhere, and then I just got that fixed. So now we are on to trying to get this up to code for the rule book. Now to do that, I read through the rule book, kind of annoying, but we will need to change it from an exhaust dump, right at the rear axle, to an exhaust out the back. So I got my kit of 2-inch exhaust that I luckily had over from randomly buying it, and we're gonna stick that on there, just make that up really quick, and then from there we just need to do the rear door panels, and I might end up putting something like back in here to seal it from the trunk. So once we're done with that, she's basically going to be good to go for the show. I do want to wash it, and I do want to kind of try to wax it, so that will be that, and that way we can get the sucker out of here and I can paint the Mustang. Stay with me, stay with me. We have a visitor. Alexander brought his split bumper Camaro that has a identity crisis as a 79. What are we doing today?
I think we're gonna lower the front a little bit, and we're gonna do it
the wrong way.
The wrong and sketchy way.
So this is how to lower your vehicle with daily driven death traps. Fix it with fire, as the good men say. Dude, it sits so much better.
Yeah, it does.
It's actually level now.
Leveling kit.
Done. Difference is insane.
Yeah.
I kind of wish it was like right here. It has a little bit of a rake to it.
Yeah. But if I'm gonna get...
Bro, this still has so much travel.
It does.
All right, quick view of the Dundee exhaust. Okay. So kind of this is what we're going with every car, I guess. Because the Wagon, this is the same thing I did. Almost baby girl. This, let me honest with you, the Wagon turned out a little bit better. Just because these Mopars have this diagonal shock. And I'm praying, well right now there's like no clearance all the way down. Same with right here. I'm really hoping it doesn't rub the fuel tank and make it really a stupid racket. So boom, boom. I can look from here. Got about 3/8 of an inch there on that play. Same with that one. So we should be pretty good on this. Obviously we'll be able to tell the first 10 minutes of having it on the ground. Other than that, still got a little training fluid leak. Praying that this little mend will fix it, but I guess we'll see. It just seems to keep persistently leaking. So we're gonna give it about 10 minutes, 20 minutes on the lift and see if it still leaks, and if it doesn't, we're green light and we're just gonna start sending it. So pray, and hopefully we're good to go, and it'd be great if we didn't have to mess with that anymore. If not, we're gonna have to get a new shifting cable, and you know, I don't want to do that. So here we go. I'm kind of excited to start her up for the first time since all of the work and not only hear the new quieted down interior, but also the new probably quieted down exhaust. Last thing I need to do is find a U-bolt for that. Don't look at that. Not good. It's a little rusty. Alrighty. Basically second drive since the new suspension slash carpet slash exhaust slash everything. The glass packs that were on here decided to basically turn into nothing. So might need to change some mufflers out before good guys, or else we're gonna have a bunch of exhaust leaks. But other than that, it's pretty impressive, honestly. A little bit of play still on the wheel, but still that old steering box is going to do that. It's the bad news, but we might be looking into changing that out later too. All right, guys, welcome back to the Belvedere preparation video. It's been 2 weeks, if we're being honest here, and we are exactly 2 days away from this having to race and Alex just tagging along for the car show. So right now he is getting ready to wire his tail lights and headlights, make that all function. The Belvedere, it's so here's what we got going. First, the exhaust we made, trash. We got to throw some different mufflers on there. Second, couldn't find anybody to line it, so we got to line it tonight. Third, the reason why it leaks there is because we have to change out the radiator hose because it was crusty, rusty, and busty. So then we need to go and find a coolant reservoir tank, and I need to take this horn off that doesn't work and throw it on. Right now, we are gonna just do the items that need to be done for the race, so that way we can actually participate and don't have to worry about that. Now, that being said, some other things that we're doing tonight, he's either gonna dance his pretty little balls off, and we either need to put these on that, and then these on this, or these on that. And did you get those spacers? Are they with you?
Yeah, they're in
okay. So he's got spacers with him to convert that to that, because those are the ugliest rims I've seen since sliced butter. We want to be careful with those because I guarantee his alignment's out, and obviously my alignment's going to be terrible too. So we'll have to be somewhat thoughtful of that.
Them Z28 fans are gonna hate you. They love
those are absolute trash. Those are worse than rally Chevy wheels. Let's put 20 rallies on it. My pickup truck. Battery hold down is accomplished. Lower rad hose is accomplished. Overflow is accomplished. Alex is getting his booty slapped right now. What are we doing?
Literally crying. Is what we're doing.
He replugged it in for some reason. Anyway, so he's doing his headlights stuff right now. Once he gets all that plugged in, we can see if the headlights work and get the running lights working, and then the rear tail's working. So at this point, I'm gonna put my the Belvedere up in the air and get these new mufflers and stuff welded in, and hopefully get these exhaust leaks figured out that I have provoked. We're looking pretty decent, honestly. I got to look at the list, but oh, I forgot the worst part. We still got to align this. Yeah, we got to align it, so that's gonna be the worst by far. All right, it's the latest we've worked in a very long time. Alex didn't buy any housings, so he's out of luck for the night.
Tails.
For the old tail lights, but he's got the old headlights. You want to flash the ladies and gentlemen? Here we go. We've got markers and heads. I think we even got high-low. Cue. Boom. He's all set up, ready to go. We got the new exhaust on this. I'll show you guys tomorrow. I don't want to get too rev happy. People are trying to sleep around the world. Now it's just this pesky alignment. Right now, I got the turning radius figured out. It was super towed one way. Well, it wasn't even towed. It was just adjusted completely the wrong way. Which now they had it, technically it was adjusted to do that. And now I'm fighting caster pretty heavily, or camber, one of the two. I got one level wheel and I've got one that's basically a 1/4 inch out. I know that's not really how it's measured. And if everybody's like, oh, why'd you take it to an alignment shop? Well, I did. I tried. Nobody would take it in just because It's an old Mopar, and I guess no one's either smart enough to do it, or they just basically, one shop told me they wouldn't make enough money on me to make it worth their while. So here we are as usual, trying to figure it out ourselves a day before competition. So I guess we'll see what happens. As you can see, that one's still pretty towy, and then that one I guess I did get kind of lined better. So we'll take it for a drive home and see how it does, and kind of go from there. Maybe someone at Good Guys can I'll bring the tools with me, and maybe they can help me. Usually there's some smart guys. There's over 5,000 hot rodders there, so I'm sure someone's nice enough to help. Who knows? It's kind of hard to find people that work on their own cars nowadays, but it is totally possible. I do have one guy I might shoot a text. He's a big Mopar guy around here, over in, I think, Nevada, Iowa, and he's super chill. I'll shoot him a text and kind of pick his brain on where he takes his cars to get alignment, shoot them a call, and if they're available tomorrow, I'll just take it there, and maybe I'll pick it up Friday morning, and we'll just be late to the show, but at least it'll be done. So, all right, guys, we're signing off for the night. See you in the morning. Okay, guys, so here's an update. This is the next day, as always, seems like. So Belvedere, I went to replace the seal underneath the carburetor, or gasket, and ended up kind of getting ahead of myself, tried to replace the accelerator pump, messed it up, and now this is where we're at. I ended up putting the Edelbrock off the Bronco on it with a little adaptation. She's running significantly better. Roscoe. So, and then Alex, here we are. He, as you guys recall, he had his headlights and marker lights working, or sorry, fog lights. Now, we had a significant bad event last night when we were trying to clean up, and the tie rod just spontaneously combusted. Good gravy. That was at like 1 o'clock at night, so it was terrible. We were getting ready to get on the road, and luckily it broke right, I think, coming off that ledge right there, so, which was just fine.
I tilled the grass so we can start planting. Yeah,
so we're gonna plant corn here now. But he's about has that done. I'm getting ready to hop inside, throw the brake light switch wiring in, and then also try to figure out why the taillights aren't getting the juice. Why is it not getting the juice? We're just gonna have to make sure he got hooked up on the headlight harness. So that is all we got. We're moving right along. We have a pretty much deadline tonight, and I still got to clean the green truck and wire some things on the green truck. So running out of time, but that's just how we roll. As a typical day, we try to go to car shows, everything goes wrong. No oil pressure, we don't know yet. So, welcome to life. Alex blew his drive shaft, and maybe more parts too, we don't know yet, but we're gonna go to a parts store and change a U-joint in a parking lot with no tools. So we got good news, the transmission is good.
Well,
we think. And for some reason, when Alex is messing with this, I didn't look at it. This is the shoddiest drive shaft I've ever seen. It's probably worse than if I would try to weld my own, which is saying something. Anywho, we got brand new U-joint. We don't know the exact cause of failure. My guesstimate is because this thing vibrates probably like a woman's vibrator. We're gonna throw this new U-joint in real quick and finish our U-joint change out in church parking lot. I just screamed rancid words in the parking lot, so.
But what did we say about the soldier?
I don't even know anymore. I hope this is symmetrical.
Did you grease it? Did you grease it?
There we go.
Wow, that looks pretty greasy. Looks pretty greasy to me. It doesn't look like it needs.
It needs primer.
Oh, other side.
Oh, well, stoned. Zaddy. All right. What was it, Alex?
It was a U-joint because I don't breathe.
I don't think he put the retainer clips on the U-joint, as well as I think it vibrates so fast that blah blah blah. I'm just gonna talk. So I think we're gonna head. I don't even know what time it is, but I think we're just gonna go to the show. So we made it. The old Belvedere's leaking train fluid now, so that's slightly not cool, but it is what it is, I guess. All right, this has been a pretty confusing experience. Kind of pulled up and did a quick tech, and I think we're gonna try it out. He told me to go behind a Nissan, and the Nissan's going right now, and I got a couple other jabrones ahead of me. So supposedly I'm the last guy left. So well, I guess we'll see what goes down. And I don't know, this thing might be an absolute handful. I guess we'll see. So this is round 2. I guess we'll see how it goes. Last round didn't go so well because I was in 2nd gear. So pray for me. Sunday because Saturday was a washout, we believe. It didn't really rain much here in where we live, but Des Moines, it looked like they got a lot of rain. And I don't have a hood, and it wouldn't really be fun to, you know, just walk in rain at the Des Moines fairgrounds. So we're leaving here. It's 7:20. Yeah, let's hope we make it in one piece, unlike the first day. Except we fixed it in like 15 minutes in church parking lot, but still. That was kind of stressful. I'd kind of like today to just be a little bit relaxing, but yeah, I guess we'll see.
my drive shaft does feel like it's just so unbalanced at like certain speeds on the highway. So that really needs changed because it's booger welded.
All right, guys, so I did my 4th run of the 2nd day of autocrossing here at the Old Good Guys, and the old 361 had it. She's done, or sorry, whatever the hell it is, 383. So now I don't know, I'm gonna get ready to pull that valve cover off on the left side, or passenger side, and see what kind of catastrophic damage we got. She's knocking pretty good, so let's see what we got. Seen it. Go ahead, turn over. All the way? Yes. Do it again. Know this thing has 1,000,000 miles. Look how caked it is. It just doesn't, it's not smooth metal, it's just cake. Yeah. I've never opened it up. No. Geez, no, like it's my own fault. I never opened it up or seen how conditioned it was. Well, pretty sludgy. Sludgy. Look how bad that is. Sludgy. Is any of those loose? No, it's all good. So it must be bottom end. Fixed.
Rev it.
No, it's still there.
Yeah, I hear it.
It'll drive on the trailer.
Well, that's good.
No, it still hurts pretty bad. Got oil pressure again.
Yeah, it doesn't sound too bad.
It's not. Oh. It was pretty well knocky earlier. I don't know what happened.
That's so
I
odd.
pulled the valve covers off, and it was all still rotating.
Do you think the oil pump is going out?
It could be.
Maybe that's why you're not getting oil pressure.
I had 40 pounds right there.
Well, I mean, like it's you know,
random.
yeah. I don't know.
I don't know.
Guess we'll diagnose.
Yeah, I'll pull it out. It's old anyway.
Needs to be retired.
It's had its day.
Yeah.
Put it in the back of the shed and man,